Let's move on to the final unit for nursing informatics. We have here Unit 7, Ethical Legal collection, processing, and consent. So when you talk about this, you have to perform collection of personal data. However, the personal data must be, or the collection itself, it has to be declared, it has to be specified and legitimate in purpose. Meaning, when you talk about the personal data collection being declared, it means that you are saying to the patient or informing the patient that you are collecting the data. Collecting meaning you're writing it and you're recording it in a certain paper. Okay, meaning it will be a permanent record. Also, it has to be specified as to its purpose. Why do you need to take the data or ask the data? For example, is aside from the name, address, the socioeconomic status, and so on. And it has to be legitimate purpose. It has to be declared that it is needed in the healthcare intervention, hence the data gathering is needed. Okay, and it is now informed also that it can also be used for legal purpose or legitimate purpose. Okay, so what information collected will be used for? Okay, so for example, you're getting now the socioeconomic status or the income. What will it be used for anyway? Okay, and then consent is required also in collection, in the processing. Okay, so when you talk about consent, it has to be taken prior, or the consent must be taken prior to the data collection. So when you talk about the consent, make sure to inform about extent and purpose of processing. So we mentioned that already. Who will be seeing? Extent means seeing. Who will be seeing the data? Who will be studying the data? Who will be uh, up to what extent will the data go to? Okay. Purpose of processing also, meaning if you'll use it for a treatment, the data, you will use it as diba, for health history. Eventually you get the diagnosis, eventually you arrive at treatments. Okay, so that is the purpose of processing. Basically, it talks about the management of the condition of the patient for her wellness. Okay. So if automated processing of data, usually it will now be for profiling, processing for direct marketing, and data sharing. Okay, so that you have to inform also the patient for that purpose, just in case it will be used as such. Consent also must be freely given. Okay, so it has to be that the patient wants to share the data and not forced to share the data. Specific also meaning what are the yun, we will specify what will we collect, and make sure you are informing the patient the extent and the use of the data that will be collected. It also should be evidenced by recorded means, meaning since it's no longer face to face, or not all communications will be face to face, it should now be recorded either via the voice or recorded now via EHR. So remember when somebody calls you from the bank and mentions that this call is being recorded, yeah, because nga, you have to be informed that whatever you're talking about or you're discussing about with the caller will now or is recorded, and it usually is getting to be a permanent record already. So another recording will be the EHR, which once you enter the data, it will already be forever there. It will be a permanent record already. And not required if the data subject is party now to a contractual agreement. So for example, the patient will also be benefiting from whatever it is that you will be getting from her, then no consent will now be required. In the first place, the mere fact that you're both parties working on something is already consent enough. Okay? So in collecting, processing, and consent also, exception allowed where processing is necessary to pursue the legitimate interests of the data controller or the institution, except where overridden by fundamental right and freedoms of the data subject. So what does that mean? So you have two clauses there. So first is your data processing permission. So it is actually permitted if it serves the legitimate interest of the organization controlling the data, for example, the hospital or the institution. So the legitimate interests kasi will now be talking about fraud prevention. Of course, anybody who now takes the data would also want to be protected from fraud, network security breaches, or direct marketing. Like for example, your data will now be used for selling certain medicine or something to that effect. Okay, they must be balanced, however, against the rights and freedoms of the individuals whose data is being processed. They shouldn't just be thinking of them, okay, but also thinking about the patient's condition, okay, or the patient's rights. So the second clause is fundamental rights and freedoms of the data subject. So when you talk about fundamental rights and freedoms of the data subject, meaning your client, even if there are a legitimate interest for data processing, those interests must not infringe upon the fundamental rights and freedom of the individuals whose data is being processed. Okay, so for example, you're saying that we are the institution and we have the right to collect in a way since, or we have the right to control the data because we want to prevent fraud, we want to secure our networks and so on. But if it impinges or it infringes upon the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, then it is also illegal. Okay, so what are the considered sensitive personal and privileged information? So did you know that even the race, ethnic origin, marital status, age, color, and religious, philosophical, and political affiliations are sensitive and personal information? Okay, sensitive personal information. So who would have known when we were taking this from our clients, when we were taking this data from our clients, we didn't take note that it pala is a sensitive personal information. Okay, so when you say privileged information, meaning the 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 receiver of the data is privileged to know the data from the patient. So, for example, you're being given a patient who is high profile, whatever it is that you get from the patient na data is a privileged information. And it's a privilege because you are there as the nurse of the patient. Okay, so we have to be careful of that and not abuse our privilege. Okay, so individual's health, education, genetic or sexual life of a person, or to any proceeding of any offense committed or alleged to have committed. So those are privileged information. However, this second one naman kasi is of use, di ba? So for example, individual's health and the condition is dreaded disease or a what do you call that? A stigmatic disease, like for example TB. When during the time of the COVID, when it was still fresh or new, having COVID then was in a way very, diba? It gives stigma to the house, to the person, and so on. Also the education. So we're not supposed to give out the ay high school lang natapos niyan or something to that effect. Okay? Of course, sexual life definitely is a secret also. Okay, that you shouldn't be giving out or sharing to others. You can have it, you can have the data, but it's a privileged information, so please don't divulge it to any other person. Okay? Or for example, the patient is bakit nakaposas? Ayan. Eh, kasi ano yan, suspect yan sa ganyan. So we shouldn't be doing that. Okay? So gone are the days where we talk about patient and patient's case. Now we have to be more legal. We have to be more sensitive with the information that we know. Okay? Issued by government agencies, peculiar or unique to an individual. Example, your their SSS number, yung mga ganon, phone number, okay, ano pa ba ang peculiar or individual or unique to the person. So all those numbers, okay, PRC number, because you'll have one PRC number all your life, SSS number all your life, TIN number all your life. Those are permanent numbers already. So you have to be securing that as well. and also data that are marked as classified by executive order of act or act of Congress. Okay, so that this now will be information that you should be safeguarding. Actually, all naman should be safeguarded. Okay, but paying special attention to all this. Processing of sensitive and personal information is prohibited. However, there are exceptions again. So, in certain circumstances that include, first is consent of the data subject. If the data or the client agrees to the sharing or processing of the information, no problem. Okay. Pursuant to law that does not require consent. Okay. So, for example, it's now being used for a testimony in court, mga ganon. Okay. Necessity to protect life and health of a person. So, for example, the patient is about to die already because of a certain condition. Okay, you cannot or um, you don't need to hold on to the data. Okay, ang tendency kasi is if you don't hold on to the data, kunyari may responder doon, the responder will not know na what to do. So you can give the data if ever you are there to give the data. Okay, necessity for medical treatment also. So it you cannot withhold data, okay, or sensitive information if it is needed for a medical treatment. Okay, so for example, HIV treatments. So you cannot withhold, for example, number of sexual partners, uh, what was the extent na after the infection, were you still in contact with other people or something. Okay, because the example lang, the medical treatment that will be needed also by others would also be entailing your the exposure of your sensitive information. Necessity to protect the lawful rights of data subjects in court proceedings, legal proceedings, or regulation. Okay, so that um, this data will definitely be divulged in court and should be. These are legal documents. Okay, so prohibited activities under the Data Privacy Act. Okay, so we have here violations on personal information and sensitive personal information. So these are basically the violations. Okay, so what are the types of it? One is unauthorized processing of the data. So, for example, your company or a company monitors customer spending habits, okay, without informing them of such. So, for example, we get, kunyari naman, we now get the data of your patient, the phone number, the email, and then we make use of the email and the phone number to for example, to study, okay, to study them or to yung mga ganyan, okay. Accessing due to negligence. Okay. So personal data access by an authorized person due to an individual controller's lack of or failure to implement a clear data governance policy. Meaning they were uncareful or they were not careful to protect now your data. So, ang bilis ma-breach, wala man lang password, wala man lang firewall, okay? Or they left their terminal open, they did not log out, mga ganun. Improper disposal. So, disposal of, discard, or abandon in a manner that results its complete destruction. Okay, so dapat you have to dispose it in such a way that it could no longer be accessible. That is the proper disposal of a data or a uh, data, electronic man siya or paper. Okay, so that you shouldn't be dumping papers also into the trash bin. Okay, mm, because you are giving away privileged information. So what you do is to shred supposedly the 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 paper so that wala nang way uh, for the whoever will get the paper to read what is in it. Okay, processing information for unauthorized purposes. So you use the data for additional purposes unknown to or unauthorized by subjects. So, for example, your data is only for payment processing. Okay, it was used now in sending out solicitation letters or promotional materials. Okay, so that they used your data so that they can advertise again for free, because email marketing is free. So they just get your either number, your email, and then they can promote anything to you. Unauthorized access or intentional breach, okay, hacking. So the difference with this to the accessing due to negligence is this one was not intentional. However, unauthorized access or intentional breach is intentional. So they were intentionally hacked. Okay, so somebody access inside the system. So depending now on the firewall or the security that you put now in your internet or your system. Okay, that's how easy or hard also the hackers can penetrate your system. So malicious disclosure. So when information, even if untrue, about an individual is disclosed in bad faith or with malice. Close to, if not similar to the concept of libel. Okay. So for example, when you talk about your storytelling Marites type or Marites level, tendency is that you are disclosing it in bad faith. Meaning parang chismosang dating, or the purpose is to talk about the patient and not to study the case, not to manage the case. Okay. However, if you disclose the data but with good intentions, for example, you now disclose the data for case studies. Okay. However, of course, we control their names, yung mga ganon, basic. But the data alone, kunyari their case, their circumstance, ano nangyari, the complications, and so on. Okay. So that, ganon. uh, in good faith yun, I mean. Okay? So, I mean, it's allowed. Okay? Of course, with control din minsan or ng konti. Like, for example, withholding the name. Okay? So, unauthorized disclosures, sharing of personal data with other parties. Maraming nangyayari dito in cases where they sell the personal data. Okay, so it's actually a distinct crime. Patient cases casually discussed in public places is also an authorized disclosure. Ma'am, hindi naman namin pinangalanan. Patient X naman. But remember, when you talk about a certain case, okay, there could now be a trace. Taga Aurora Hill yung patient. I know na. Siya yung pinag-uusapan nung isang araw. Kilala ko na yun. They now puzzled it together and eventually came up with the patient's identity. Okay? Even though you say it's patient X. Or, for example, you're discussing a case and a relative is inside the jeepney or the public place. So even though you're not naming the patient, the relative clearly knows who you are talking about. Okay? And then concealment of security breaches. So you already know that there is a security breach. However, you now failed to report it to the National Privacy Commission. Okay? So you actively hide it or you conceal it. Okay? So it's also a violation of the DPA. So parang lying by omission, 'di ba? You did not uh, you did not tell a lie naman, but you did not tell the truth. Okay? So this is a prohibited activity as well. So what are the implications of Data Privacy Act of 2012 in nursing informatics? That consent should be obtained for admission to hospital prior to data collection, so that as student nurses later on admitting patients, so before that you always have to get the consent prior to data collection. Okay? So, usually verbal consent lang yung iba. So, ma'am, mag-interview po ako ha, tatanungin ko kayo mga questions. And, kasi ito mga questions po na to kailangan po for your management or treatment. So, pag sinabing oo ni patient, that's already a consent. Okay? So, written consents though will be mandatory for special cases or sensitive cases like operations, mga ganun, mga invasive. Okay, another implication, patients should be fully informed on the purpose of the data being obtained. Okay, fully informed, not just informed. Okay, so meaning the extent to which the data will be given, who are the people who will be accessing the data, for what will you use the data, mga ganun. Okay, so patient information stored in medical records such as the EMR should be protected for privacy and security from breaches. So it's the responsibility of the institution to buy a security software as strong and as healthy as possible. Plus, you just don't buy it, but also sustain it, meaning you have to have a troubleshooter, you have to have a main man to just in case there is a breach, you will immediately correct now the problem or something to that effect, or even maintaining the security. Okay. Next is information stored in the medical record should not be used for other purposes as stated in the consent. So the medical records will not be used to write a book. And then ang case na nilalagay mo is the case of the patient, the biographics of the patient. Ma'am, iniba ko naman po yung pangalan, tsaka iniba ko yung, what do you call this, the address. So, it's not accepted. Okay? If stored information will be used for other purposes, okay, such as research or case presentation, patient should be fully informed. And then another consent be obtained. Okay? Um, so for example, you only mention to the patient that this will be used for the treatment. So kung gagamitin mo ngayon siya for research, that is another purpose, you have to seek another consent. Okay? Healthcare workers who has access to patient records and who has access to patients shall not acquire patient information outside of what is stated in the consent unless consent is obtained from the patient. Okay? So that, for example, you would want to uh, uh, ask more because you need it for research. So that is already a violation. So that importante that you will have to get another consent. Okay? So if it's verbal consent, oh, okay lang. Wala man akong ginagawa so I can answer your interview. Parang ganun. Eh yung pala additional data na yon kasi gagamitin mo na siya for case press or anything na hindi mo naman sinabing paggagamitan ng data. Okay? So also, healthcare workers shall not post or share information that would identify the patient, of course. Okay? So, even though you say it's a blind item, it is a faceless content. It was unnamed. Okay? So, eventually, kasi they can trace it. So, another law is Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. Okay? An act prescribing the Intellectual Property Code and establishment of the Intellectual Property Office. So, providing for its powers and functions and for other purposes. So, that is the IPA or RA 8293. Okay, so what are included in the Intellectual Property Code? Terms such as copyright, original owners, and copyright infringements. Okay, so we have here significant provisions on the copyright law. So let's define first what copyright is. It's a collection of all rights enjoyed by the owner of an artistic or literary work. Okay, so if you want to have a copyright, then create something artistic and something literary. Like artistic, more on paintings or anything about the art, or literary, meaning anything about writing naman. Okay. So when you talk about copyright law, also you now look at the OGs or the OG original owners. So when you talk about the original owners, we now talk of what do they own anyway. So these are copyrightable works in the Philippines, literary and artistic domain. Okay? So in short, all original intellectual creations are the ownership of the original owners. Okay? So that what would be included in these works, examples would be books, diba? Articles, letters, what else? And so on and so forth. Even paintings. Okay? So those are all original intellectual creations. Okay? However, aside from that, nakalagay dyan, plus. So, derivative works such as dramatizations, translations, adaptations, abridgments, arrangements, and other alterations of the literary music work, collections of literary, scholarly, or artistic works, okay, and compilations of data and other materials which are original by reason of the selection of coordination or arrangement of their contents are also protected. Okay, so for example, I have an original author has 10 books, and then you summarize it. Okay, summarize the 10 into one book. So it still is a copyright or the ownership of the original owner. Okay, ma'am, I was the one who summarized it, even though what did you summarize? You don't you didn't own or you don't own what you have summarized. Okay, so that you're supposed to ang tawag doon, be aware of that. Okay, when could it be forgiven? Okay, if you now add another context. For example, you react on the laman. So for example, you now read a book. Okay, you can react on it, write the original line, and then and your interpretation of it. That will be fine. However, if you just put all the data together, that is still copyright infringement. Okay, so that who are the original authors or owners anyway. So of course they are authors of works. So for example, author of a book, author of a script, author of something, okay, all of them will now be the original owners, and sabi natin they own the copyright. Okay, number two, if joint ownership, okay, for example, two authors in one book, co-authors are original owners. So basically, one and the other are one and the other partner, or even the third or fourth partner, are co-owners. Okay, so meaning you own or you both own the copyright. Okay, so that it could also be a variation of where owner of part or he or she created lang. Okay, so for example, chapter 1 sa'yo, chapter 2 sa akin, ganun. So that it's also important that when you contribute, make sure you have a separate na contribution. Hindi pwede yung contribution niya tapos i-edit mo lang. Hindi yun ang ang contribution na tinatawag. Ang contribution will now be, or co-authorship will now be, sa iyo ang chapter 1, sa akin ang chapter 2, o kaya 1 to 10 akin, sa iyo yung 11 to 20, mga ganyan. So that is co-ownership. Hindi yung inedit, or what do you call this? Yeah, edit. Inedit mo lang yung work niya, hindi yun co-ownership. Okay? So that in cases where you can separate the work and publish it originally, then pwede mong i-publish under your own ownership, kasi yun yung contribution mo doon sa book. Ganun. Okay? So number 3 is work is created in course of employment. Okay, so the work or the book or the writing was created in while you were an employee. So it could now have two variations. Employee could be the owner if employee meaning yung trabahador, okay, o okay, mga ganon. Work was created or work created is not part of employee's regular duties even if he uses the time, facilities, and materials of the employer. Meaning, for example, ako teacher, okay, I only, explain na rin natin yung pangalawa. Employer is the owner if work created is the result of performance of employees' regular assigned duties unless otherwise agreed upon. Okay, so for example, pinagawa kami ng module and it's part of our work, then who owns the module? It's the employer that owns the module kasi kasama yun sa responsibilities namin. O, secondly, kunyari ako naman ay nag-vlog, nag-YouTube channel. Tapos yung nasa loob nun ay sarili kong gawa, hindi naman yun yung lessons ng NI, for example. Then I own the YouTube channel. I own the original content of my YouTube channel. Ganon. Okay? Kasi it wasn't part of me being a teacher to vlog on, for example, other topics, ganun. Kunyari, self-help. Yan. So, hindi naman yun ang tinuturo ko. So, I own the self-help part of my YouTube or internet journey. Ganun. Okay? So, when you talk about unless otherwise agreed upon, this could be or this should be a very valuable person. Kasi not all authors, even even if they demand that they get the copyright, the employer doesn't give it. Unless, for example, it will be for the betterment of the institution. So, for example, kunyari presidente, tapos nag-co-author or nag-author siya, okay? Parehas yung trabaho niya dun sa in-author niya. Okay? But since he now has a very high position, the employer now will agree. No? Sige, sa iyo na yung copyright. Basta i-acknowledge mo that you work here in our school or something to that effect. Okay? So they will have to agree on something. Ano ba problema kasi sa copyright na yan? It's more for monetary purposes. Aside from that, also prestige or honor. Okay? But mainly, kaya marami nag-aaway because of monetary purposes. Okay? Number 4, who are they if they work if their work was commissioned, meaning pinatrabaho lang sa kanila or pinagawa lang sa kanila. Okay, one who commissioned jointly owns it with the author or the creator. So ako, nag-utos ako na paintan mo nga ako ng ganito. So the painting will now be co-owned by me, the commissioner, and the worker or kung sino man yung nag-create nung pinagawa ko, pinaka-commission ko. But copyright of work remains with author or creator unless otherwise agreed upon. Okay? So by the way, ownership shared pero copyright still with the creator. Okay? So, I think ganito yung naging kaso sa Itbulaga. Kasi yung creator ang pinanigan. 'Di ba? Kahit na yung tape ang, ano bang sinabi ng tape office, they're the ones renewing, they're the ones applying dun sa mga institutions, sa mga government agencies. They may jointly own Itbulaga because they work together on that, but the original or the copyright na was awarded to the original creator. Okay? Unless otherwise agreed upon again. So, kunyari pumayag si Tito Vic and Joey na, o sige sa inyo na si Itbulaga, then sa kanila na. Or sa commission or dun sa kung sino man na nag-commission. Okay? Next is audiovisual work. Copyright belongs to creators. Okay? So, who are the creators? The producer, the author of the scenario, music composer, film director, and author of work adapted. So, marami kasing creator. Sino ba tong audiovisual works na to? Movies, short films, mga ganyan. Play, mga ganyan. So, these are audiovisual works. So, ang creator, lahat ng mga yan. So, from the producer, kasi siya yung nag-isip. Okay? Or producer din kasi gets or gives the money. Yan. Author of the scenario, meaning the writer. Okay? Musical scorer, kung sino man yung nag-compose ng music at anong music yung ginamit. The director and the author of the work adapted. So that typically it's a group that owns the copyright. Okay? However, unless otherwise agreed upon among creators, producer now has the right to exercise copyright, okay, to the extent required for the exhibition of the work. So for example, saan ipapalabas yung work? So for example, sa Pilipinas lang ba? Okay? The producer also has the right to yung gusto kong dalhin sa ibang bansa. Yeah. Or for example, gusto kong dalhin sa Netflix. Ayan. So the producer will now be one of the main decision makers. Okay? Pero ownership pa rin nung ano. But usually naman kasi pag producer, sila yung sa pera thing. That's why they produce because they want times 10 or even more of their creation, okay, or dun sa kanilang idea. So, nag-agree naman usually yung mga kasama. Okay? Yun. Exception, of course, yung license fees, collection, especially for performance of musical compositions. Kung hindi naman siya ang may contribution ng music, yung composition, hindi yung producer ang may copyright. Ang may right nun, syempre, yung composer. Okay? Yeah. So, kunyari, mga theme songs, ganyan. So, kung sino yung composer, he still has the right to the song. Okay, pati yung paggamit ng song sa iba, pagbenta sa radyo, pagbenta sa ibang projects. So sa musical either composer or the singer. Okay? Next, letters. So they are the writers of letters also. So the copyright belongs to the writer subject. Okay? So letters and other private communications though in writing are owned by the receiver. Okay, but the same cannot be published or disseminated without the consent of the writer or his heirs. So, for example, I wrote a letter and then I addressed it to somebody. Whoever is the receiver, okay, sa kanya na yung right or yung copyright or yung tawag doon. He owns already the letter, whoever I gave the letter to. Okay, however, I cannot sell it, I cannot publish it because the copyright still belongs now to the writer. Okay, but I own it already kasi binigay na nga sa akin. Yeah. Problema is, for example, ang nagbigay sa'yo ay willing naman na okay, sa'yo na yung letter, sa'yo na rin yung copyright. Okay? Pero nung namatay na yung nagbigay sa'yo, the heirs naman are the ones naghahabol. O hindi, yan sa ano ko yan, so amin yan or something to that effect. Okay? But usually, or seldom pala, ang letters ay nagiging issue. Okay? Pero meron issue. Okay? Court may authorize the publication or dissemination if the public goods or the interest of justice so requires. Okay? So that, for example, letter yun, tapos it is of national history significance. Yan. So that pwedeng kunin ni court or hingin ni court yan kasi nga for the public for the public's good. Yan. Kasi nga mag-a-add siya sa history ng Pilipinas or history natin mga ganun. Okay? Next would be how long is the protection of artistic, literary or derivative works? Hanggang kailan nila pag-aari yung ginawa nila. So rights shall be protected during the lifetime of the author. So habang buhay si author, sa kanya po ang copyright. Plus, kung namatay na siya, 50 years after he dies. Okay? So, kunyari, 3 yung author, hanggang dun sa pagkamatay nung pangatlong author, plus 50 years. Yun yung ownership ng copyright nung author. So that ang mga public domain, so when you say public domain, meaning hindi na siya subject to copyright. Okay? These are now ganito na yung category. Namatay na yung owner, tapos plus 50 years pa. Okay? Pwede nang gamitin ng kahit sino. Wala nang copyright infringement yung mga yan. Kaya ang mga Shakespeare, I think, mga kasama sa ganyan. Okay? Or yung mga trabaho nung unang panahon, yung very, very vintage, Renaissance, mga ganon. So, hindi na siya, unless may surviving pa na author, ha? Siyempre, hindi pwede yun. Pero kung wala na, then, okay? For anonymous or pseudonymous works, kasi maraming artistic pero ayaw nilang i-declare kung sino sila, copyright protection lasts for 50 years from the date of lawful publication. 1950 nakita or na-publish, 2000 free na po yung work na yon. Kasi wala namang author na i-claim kung sino yung mamamatay at plus 50 years. So, walang ganun. So, ang usapan na lang is 50 years from publication. Okay? So, rights conferred to the author of a work, exclusive right to carry out, authorize, or prevent, okay, the following. So, reproduction of the work or substantial portion of the work. So, may right siya, okay, to authorize or prevent. So, kung type niya yung, or for good, kunyari gusto niya yung cause nung magpa-publish, then, papayag siya. Kung hindi naman niya type or hindi niya gusto yung cause, aayawan niya or prevent niya. Okay? Also, may right din siya for the dramatization, translation, adaptation, abridgment, arrangement, or other transformation of the work. For example, book siya, and then I want to make it into a movie. Yan. So, he has the right now either to sell the rights or to prevent the movie from occurring. First, public distribution of the original and each copy of the work by sale or other forms of transfer of ownership. So, kailan niya ba gustong i-distribute? Paano? Okay? So that sa kanya pa rin yung say. Rental of the original or a copy of an audiovisual or cinematographic work, a work embodied in a sound recording, computer program, compilation of data and other material, or a musical work in graphic form, irrespective of the ownership of the original or the copy which is the subject of the rental. So, nung uso pa na nagpaparent ang Video City, mga ganon. Okay? So, pwede yan. Ina-allow or pwedeng i-allow ng owner. Usually, pag binenta na yung rights. Ganon. Pero yung rights to the project, dun pa rin sa owner. Okay? Pero the right to have it rented out, usually DVD, mga ganon, mga video players, cassette players, yun, pinaparent dati yun. Ngayon wala na kasi nga may Netflix na monthly and so on. So, namatay na yung mga rental shops. Okay. Public display of the original copy or copy of the work. So, for example, for a museum, ayan, for an exhibit, yan. Okay. Other communication to the public of the work. So, for example, awardan siya ng prestigious award or alumni award, ganun. Bahala siya pumayag or hindi pumayag. Okay? Kasi right niya yun. Okay? So, copyright infringement is another term or concept. It occurs when there is a violation of any of exclusive economic or moral rights granted to the copyright owner. So, unang-unang pinaka-issue dyan, economic. Pangalawa dyan yung moral. Moral na damage. Okay, or moral na offense. So that ang pinakamatindi will always be economic kasi nga ito yung may bearing, ito yung mas maraming nagkakaso talaga. Okay, although a lot of owners din kasi kunyari morally na apektuhan sila. For example, nasira ang pangalan ko dahil sa ginawa nyo or ginamit nyo, mga ganyan. Okay? May mga cases din na ganun. Copyright infringement pa rin. Or you made a disgrace or gave a disgrace now to a work or something to that effect. Okay? Next, so IP code or your intellectual property code provides for liability of a person who at the time when copyright subsists in a work has in his possession an article which he knows or ought to know to be an infringing copy of the work for the following purposes. So, for example, selling or letting for hire or by way of trade offering or exposing for sale or hire the article. So, hindi pwede yan kung hindi alam ni or kung hindi o walang permit si owner or si copyright owner. Another is distributing the article for the purpose of trade or for any other purpose to an extent that will prejudice the rights of the copyright owner in the work. So, again, dinistribute or binenta. Okay? Tapos, yung rights ni copy owner, nawala. Kasi nga, kunyari yung pinagbentahan, napunta lang doon sa nagbenta or kunyari agent, that's a copyright infringement. Trade exhibit of the article in public. Okay? Tapos, walang kaalam-alam si copyright owner. Or walang permit si copyright owner. So that you have now to make sure that the copyright owner is knowledgeable, magpaalam. Okay? And usually naman, either, sige, you get it for free or you get it but with a corresponding, yan, may pag-uusap sa pera. Share, 50-50, mga ganyan, 70-30, mga ganyan. Okay, so ang example nito would be using your work for a musical, ganyan. Okay, so hindi man ako involved sa musical na copyright owner, pero you have to make sure na napaalam mo sa akin yung paggamit mo ng musical na yon, yung work ko for a certain musical, tapos hindi siya na disgrace, may permit ako at may pinag-usapan tayo. Okay? Ganun. para hindi ka copyright infringement. So another term is fair use. Okay, the fair use of a copyrighted work for criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including a limited number of copies for classroom use, research, and similar purposes is not an infringement of copyright in the Philippines. So that, di ba, marami tayong ginagamit na libro, hindi naman natin pinapaalam sa main author palagi. Meron at merong paalam pero hindi lagi. Okay? Hindi tayo nakakasuhan kasi nga we're under the fair use law or fair use rule. We're in sa teaching natin gagamitin. Okay? Pero kunyari gagamitin natin for purposes na gagawa ako ng sariling klase, ganyan, course, and I will make use of a certain book, bawal yun. Or a certain creation. Pero kunyari, kumuha lang ako ng isang linya sa kanya, isang linya sa kabilang book, pinagsama-sama ko, and came up with my own understanding and processing, then those are acceptable. Okay? Na fair use. So in determining fair use, the following should be considered: purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature or is for non-profit educational purposes. Kaya hindi tayo nahahabla. Kasi for educational purposes, lahat yung gamit natin. The nature of copyrighted work. So, for example, ang kanyang work ay for educational purposes talaga, then, tas ginamit mo for educational purposes, then fair use yun. Pero kunyari, it is for educational purposes sana, tas ginamit mo for trading or for a commercial or something na may income. So, hindi yun pwede. Okay? The amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. So, for example, you will have to cite a work from a book. Hindi mo gagamitin yung buong book na maging textbook. Hindi pwede. Kailangan, meron kang i-input aside from the things that you get from the book. Or may iba ka pang book na source. Okay? The effect of, or just in case you copy, again, yung citation para para fair use. The effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Okay? So, kunyari ay ginamit mo, tas biglang very prestigious yung copyright owner or yung author, tas biglang nung ginamit mo, nawalan ng kredibilidad kasi nga parang nababoy or na dungisan yung image ng author, then pwede siyang pumasok under copyright infringement. Pero for example, it was for the good of the author, medyo naangat pa nga yung kanyang what they call prestige, image, ganon, then fair use po yun. Okay? Meaning you used it for good cause or with good intention. Okay? So what are the rights of patients relevant to nursing informatics? So, right to informed consent. So, patient has a right to a clear, truthful, and substantial explanation. Na-mention na natin yan kanina. Right kasi niya yun, kaya kailangan sabihin natin. In a manner and language understandable to patient. Actually, isang sentence lang to, pero break down ko para, di ba, mas maintindihan. Okay? Kung Ilocano, mag-Ilocano ka. Wala kang alam sa Ilocano, mag-interpreter ka. Okay? Of all proposed procedures, whether diagnostic, preventive, curative, rehabilitative, or therapeutic. So, lahat ng procedure kailangan sabihin. Huwag mo lang sabihin na, oh ma'am, inumin mo na itong paracetamol. Hindi. Sabihin mo, ano para saan yung paracetamol? Ma'am, kasi nilagnat po kayo kahapon, ito po yung paracetamol. Ganon. Okay? Or even before giving the meds. Okay, ma'am, what do you call that? Nag-prescribe po si doc, ganyan, ganito. So, okay? Person who will perform said procedure shall provide. O, sino ba yung nagpo-provide nito? Usually, doctor. So, provide your name and credentials to your patient. So, ako po si doc. Yeah. Graduate po ako ng SLU or something to that effect. Ako po yung consultant nyo, yung mga ganyan. Possibilities of any risk of mortality or serious side effects. Kahit po may risk, kailangan alam ni patient. Kailangan sabihin natin. We cannot withhold that data. Kasi all this time, baka mamaya nag-expect si patient, tapos yun pala ay mas marami palang side effects or risks. Hindi niya alam, ina-expect niya maganda kasi hindi mo naman minention. Okay? Also include problems related to recuperation and probability of success. So, not all conditions, pag trinit, masaya. Okay? Usually, for example, chemotherapy, it could now be used for managing cancer, pero after your chemotherapeutic treatment, yung feeling mo yun, ang dami mong side effects, nawalan ka ng hair, nasusuka ka, natatai ka, and so on and so forth. It's a very uneasy post-chemotherapeutic treatment. So, bago mo i-chemo isang pasyente, sabihin mo muna ganito yung mangyayari. Okay? Probability of success, hindi porket nag-chemo, 100% successful. So, ano yung statistics? Sulat mo or sabihin mo. And reasonable risks involved. So, meaning, in every situation kasi there will always be pros and cons. So, wag mo namang takutin. So, make sure lang that reasonable yung risk. And of course, if it's not reasonable na, wag mong gamitin yun for the treatment. Okay? Yeah. So, right to informed consent, you also provided that patient will not be subjected to any procedure without his written informed consent except in the following cases. So, in emergency cases. So, pwede na kahit walang consent kung emergency at life and death yung kanyang sitwasyon. Patient at imminent risk of physical injury, decline of death if treatment is withheld or postponed. Example, CPR. Ganyan. So, when health of population is dependent on adoption of a mass health program to control epidemic. Example, yung COVID noon. Okay? So, dapat, wala na, kasi dati, yung iba ayaw mag-consent, pero hindi pwede kasi nga, it's a matter of health population. Or, a national health emergency, parang ganun. When law makes compulsory for everyone to submit to a procedure. So, law na magpa-swab. Diba? Law na magpa-bakuna. Yan. Okay, so kahit ayaw mo, hindi ka nagko-consent, kailangan. When patient is either a minor or legally incompetent. So, kapag minor, legally incompetent, you need a third-party consent. So, kailangan may legal guardian, kailangan may lawyer, ganun. Kung mga ganung level ang kailangan. When disclosure of material information to patient will jeopardize success of treatment, okay, hindi natin sinasabi. So, for example, placebo kasi. Hindi mo na sabihin, placebo po itong binibigay ko. So, mabdi-defeat yung purpose ni placebo. So, a third-party disclosure, okay, and consent shall be in order. So, siya, kasi nga, yung third party na yun, either a lawyer, a guardian, or whoever, will now be acting as, kasi alam naman niya yung side effects, alam niya yung placebo ang ginagamit mo sa patient. So, parang gano'n. Okay? And then, when the patient waives his right in writing. So, for example, sinabi na niya, okay, doc, I agree that whatever it is that you want, that you think is necessary for my case, then do it. Yan. So, lahat na. Although, you still inform your patient. Parang gano'n. Okay? Informed consent obtained from patient if he is of legal age and of sound mind. In case of the patient incapable of giving consent, again, third party. Okay. Following persons in order of priority stated here under may give consent. So, kunyari, incapable or basta hindi na kayang magbigay ng consent si patient. Ang mga pwede lang magbigay ng consent will now be spouse, son or daughter of legal age, either parent, brother or sister of legal age, or guardian. Okay, in order po ito. So, number 1, ang spouse. Huwag niyong pupuntahan yung guardian agad. Huwag niyong pupuntahan yung nanay agad. Kung may asawa, asawa po ang priority. Okay? If minor, okay, ang hihingan natin ng consent, parent or legal guardian. Kapag unwilling naman yung legal guardian or parent, court po ang magde-decide. Okay? It's for the betterment of the patient. If defend ng doktor, okay, ayaw ng mga nanay at guardian, then korte po ang magde-decide. Okay, so another would be right to privacy and confidentiality. So privacy of patients must be assured, alam nyo na yan. Okay, and be free from unwarranted public exposure. Okay, except in the following cases. When his mental or physical condition is in controversy, an appropriate court in its discretion under him to submit to a physical or mental examination by a physician. Okay, so for example, ayaw niya. Okay, so that, hindi pwede, masyado na siyang destructive, yung mga ganyan. Okay, so kunyari psychotic patient. So that, kailangan ma-disclose na may patient kaming ganito, ganito na yung ginagawa niya, ganito na yung extent ng sakit niya or condition niya. Okay? So the for example, court, okay, we can now decide on the condition of the patient. When public health and safety so demand. Yan. So for example, ay kailangan ma-declare kung sino ang may COVID. Yan. Maraming iba sa bahay na lang nagtitreat kasi ayaw nilang ma-tag as positive ang COVID noon na. Ngayon okay lang kasi hindi na siya public concern. And when the patient waives the right in writing again. Okay? So, Doc, okay lang. Kahit ano na, I'm very willing to be as guinea pig or something. Then, okay lang. Okay? Pwede niyo po akong i-announce sa radyo. Ako yung first case ng ganun. Okay? Still, any healthcare provider or practitioner involved in the treatment and all those who have legitimate access to the patient's record is not authorized to divulge any information to a third party who has no concern with the care and welfare of the patient without his consent. Okay? With exemptions, of course. Okay? But anyway, lahat kayong na nag-handle sa kanya, wala kayong karapatan or walang authority to divulge any information. Okay? Kung hindi naman sila involved, kahit papinsan, kahit pa kamag-anak, kung hindi sila involved with the care, you have no right to give the data to the third party. Get that? Okay? Unless summoned by court. Yeah. Pero kunyari, pinsan ko, kapitbahay ko, ano pa, crush ko, mga ganyan. Or ex ko yan, ganyan. So, walang right yung mga yon na makita or malaman yung data. Okay? So, what are the exemptions? So, when such disclosure will benefit public health and safety. Okay, but if it's for marites sake, it's not a good thing to divulge. When it is in the interest of justice and upon the order of a competent court. Sabi natin, kung hiningi ni court, ibibigay natin. When the patient waives in writing the confidential nature of such information. So, sasabihin nga niya na okay lang, na ma-divulge ako sa public, I'm very willing to be the hero, ganyan. So, okay. When it is needed for continued medical treatment or advancement of medical science, subject to re-identification of patient and shared medical confidentiality for those who have access to the information. So, for example, you're being treated for the HIV virus, antiviral drugs. Yan. 3 years, for example, yung management. So, re-identification. Okay. Yeah. So, wala kang magagawa. Kasi nga, kailangan mo for medical treatment. Okay. So, kasi kailangan ma-determine, HIV positive ba talaga to? Kailangan ba talaga niya ng antiretroviral drugs? Mga ganun. Okay. Another exemption, informing spouse or a family to the first degree of the patient's medical condition may be allowed. So, sa Philippines lalo na, di ba? First or immediate family. Yan, pwede. Again, kung gusto ni patient, okay? Kung hindi naman gusto ni patient, then wala tayong right. Okay? Pero most likely, lalo na sa Philippines, okay naman. Provided that patient of legal age shall have the right to choose on whom to inform. So, yeah. So, pwede niya, sabihan mo na sa lahat, wag lang yung asawa ko kasi yung asawa ko gustong-gusto na akong madispatch siya or something to that effect. Marami pong kasong ganun ngayon. Okay? So that you have to listen to what the patient is saying. Hindi pwede, yung asawa nyo naman ho, kaya sinabi ko. Hindi. The patient still has the right to withhold kung sinong gusto niyang withholdan ng info. If not of legal age or is mentally incapacitated, such information shall be given to the parents, legal guardians, or the next of kin. Okay? So, yun ang mga exceptions natin. Right to medical records, patient entitled to a summary of his medical history and condition. So that at the end of your hospitalization, you have the right to ask for the medical history of your stay in the hospital. You have the right to view the contents of your medical records except psychiatric notes and other incriminatory information obtained through third parties with the attending physician explaining contents thereof. So for example, may medical records ka, walang psychiatric naman or incriminatory involvement, then you can now share the data. Okay? However, it has to be in the presence of a physician. Kasi i-explain niya ano ba yung mga yun. Okay? Psychiatric kasi nga they are not in their right minds in a way. So, hindi nila maiintindihan kung ano man yung nakasulat. Pag incriminatory naman, information, we do not want the patients to read, of course. Lalo na kung ang nagbigay, third party lang. At his expense and upon discharge of patient, he may obtain from the healthcare institution reproduction of the same record, whether or not he has fully settled his financial obligation with the physician or institution. So, kunwari gagamitin na niya for claiming of insurance or for employment purposes kasi hindi po ako pinapapasok back kung wala pong mga records. So, yan. So, pwede niyang ipasirox. Bayad man siya or hindi. Okay? Right to express grievances has the right to express complaints about the care and services received without fear of discrimination or reprisal and to know about the disposition of such complaints. Wala pong personalan, trabaho lang, parang ganon dapat. However, for us Filipinos, medyo vindictive tayo. Sinumbong mo ko ha. Yan. Humanda ka, ako pa rin nurse mo. Ganyan. Okay, so sana wag ganon. Kasi they have the right to express their grievance. So such a system shall afford all parties concerned with the opportunity to settle amicably if there are grievances. So for example, kinomplain ka, kinomplain mo rin siya, mag-amicable settlement kayo para malaman. Para hindi na umabot na magkortehan pa kayong mag-patient or mag-nurse. Okay? So if you would notice, punong-puno yung slides natin kasi nga wala tayong time masyadong mag-discuss. So, para nandyan lahat yung data. Okay? So, what are the implications of patients' rights in nurse informatics? Halos pare-parehas din. Okay? Dun sa mga implications. Pero, syempre, kailangan discuss natin. Consent must be obtained prior to data collection and care. Again, the patient must be fully informed. And then, patient information must be ensured of its privacy and confidentiality. Okay? So that hanggang saan darating or makakarating yung data, sino bang nag-gather, sino nakakabasa ng chart ko, mga ganyan. Patients must be protected from unwarranted exposure. So photos, information, patient's identity on social media. Kaya nga nung nagkaroon ng yung COVID ba yun, tapos pinipicturean yung mga cases, ayan. They make sure already na naka-blur or whatever para walang identity na expose. Okay. Healthcare providers who have access to patient records are not allowed to divulge info unless it is of concern for public safety. So yung contact tracing natin sa COVID noon, di ba? And then we report anong address. Barangay lang pala, not the exact address para rin hindi masyadong ma-discriminate si patient. Only those chosen by the patient to the first degree to be informed of their condition can have access to their information. So, kung sinabi niyang wag sa asawa, wag sa asawa. Wag sa nanay, wag sa nanay. Okay, dun po ako sa bunso kong anak kasi siya lang po ang pinaka-responsible. Then, get the bunsong anak, tell or share the data to the bunsong anak. Upon discharge, patients should be given a summary of their confinement. Okay? So that lahat ng pertinent parts ng medical records nandun. Okay? Ano bang, di ba? Kasi yung course of confinement, hindi naman nila masyadong naintindihan, lalo na kung may sakit sila. At least magkakaroon sila ng idea from day 1 to the last day. Okay? And then, pwede niyang itago yun para pag next na hospitalization niya, yun na ibibigay niya. Okay? And then, patients are entitled to air out their grievances. Dapat. Without fear of discrimination. Wag yung ite-threaten mo, magsumbong ka, humanda ka, wag ganun. Okay? So you have to be professional also in admitting your mistake. And then settle amicably just in case. Okay? So another law is the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 or your RA 10175. Yung DPA kanina 10173, ito naman 75. So it defines the following as cybercrimes. offenses against the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer data and systems. So any illegal access, illegal interception, data interference, system interference, misuse, all of those are cyber crimes. Okay? So computer-related offenses, okay, like computer forgery, computer fraud, computer identity theft. So all of those are cyber crimes. Content-related offenses, okay. So ano ba yung mga nandyan? So may libel, di ba? May mga pornography, okay, and so on. Ayan. Ang pinaka-common of course, yung libel. Yung siniraan mo, in-announce mo yung isang tao kasi hindi pa nakakabayad, mga ganyan. So, libel din yan. Okay. Collection of tools, policies, risk management approaches, actions, training, best practices, assurance technologies that can be used to protect the cyber environment and organization and users' asset. Yun naman ang cyber security. When you're able now to protect the cyber environment, the organization's environment, and the user's asset. Okay? And it's strongly mandated that they have, or all the institutions must install a cybersecurity mechanism para hindi sila target of hacking and so on. Okay? So what are the minimum protective measures of organizations to protect data and information technology systems for cyber threats? So we have the DPA requiring now personal info controllers and their processors to include in their reasonable and appropriate organizational, physical, and technical security measures against accidental or unlawful processing and natural or human dangers, the following. Okay? So kailangan controlled yung mga processors ng data, controlled yung mga may access. Kaya nga, ang sino ba yung mga may access? Tayong healthcare provider. So, kailangan, trained tayo in handling this data. Hindi yung para ka na lang, what we call, very uncareful na tao, na taklesa na tao, na spread out mo yung data. Okay? So what are the natural or human dangers or unlawful processing? Okay, safeguards to protect its computer network against accidental, okay, unlawful or unauthorized use of interface with or hindering of their functioning or availability. Okay? So these pala are the protection na gusto natin against natural or human dangers. Okay? So kailangan protected. Ma'am, wala namang threat, kailangan protected pa rin. Okay? Ma'am, walang budget, kailangan protected pa rin. Okay? Kasi eventually, kung nahack ka, mas malaking gastos. Yan. A security policy with respect to the processing of personal information. Okay? A process for identifying and accessing reasonably foreseeable vulnerabilities in its computer networks, or for taking preventive, corrective, and mitigating action against security incidents that can lead to a security breach. So all of that, kailangan meron yung isang institution. They have to really strengthen their security. They really have to have good intentions of securing their data. Okay? Good intentions meaning tagaloob ka tapos magbebenta ka. Okay? So I think ganun na nangyayari sa mga bangko na you are lahat ng data ng isang client, alam nila eh. So, who would be the best, ang tawag doon, sino yung may alam ng ganong data? If they are employees inside, they can see all the data. Diba? Okay, kaya nagtataka kami kasi alam na alam, account number, address, mga family name, ganun. Okay, ang hindi lang nila alam yung OTP. Okay, kaya mas madalas na napoprotektahan din. Okay, what are the implications to nursing informatics? So malapit na tayong matapos, huwag kayong mag-alala. Ensure cybersecurity of patient information. Okay. So we also have as health workers who has access, must not access patient information outside of the hospital institution unnecessarily. Siguro naman alam nyo na ang explanation nito. Kaya nga kayo nawala ng access. Okay? Yan. Secure own information to prevent identity theft. Do not share or post personal information. So, kaya mapapansin nyo, hindi na masyadong marami yung nagpo-post sa Facebook. Kasi medyo aware na rin sila na baka magkaroon ng identity theft. Okay, do not use hospital computers to access online sites, Shopee, ano pa, yung mga ganun, pang personal nyo. Okay, kasi itong mga to can be sources of breaches. Kasi nga, masyado tayong confident in giving them their info, our info, anyway, kasi nga, pang shopping yun eh. Yeah. So, may address ka na doon, meron ka ng for complete name, meron ka ng bank account data, okay, ganun. Avoid accessing unscrupulous websites and avoid downloading and installing questionable applications or programs as they might pose threats to the security of hospital information systems. So kung hospital computer po ang gamit nyo, only for hospital use. Huwag nyong gamitin porket may internet at mabilis yung internet nila, gamitin nyo for searching, for surfing. Hindi po pwede yan. Okay? So, it's a no-no definitely. So yan yung ibig sabihin or yung tackling natin sa cybersecurity. Another law would now be Code of Ethics for Nurses. So provision 3, 5, 7, and 8. So 3 means or says confidentiality and patient safety and addresses the nurse's ethical responsibility to safeguard the patient's right to privacy and confidentiality. Okay. Provision 5, Competence and Continuing Education addresses the nurse's ethical responsibility to maintain competence and ongoing learning. Provision 7, Contribution to Advancement of the Profession addresses the nurse's ethical responsibility to contribute to the nursing research, scholarly inquiry, and the development of nursing and health policies. And Provision 8, Collaborating with health professionals and the public, addresses the nurse's ethical responsibility to protect the public from misinformation and misinterpretation. So those are the Code of Ethics for Nurses related now to our lesson today. Okay. So what are the implications of nursing informatics? So nurses must ensure patients' privacy and confidentiality, especially in data collection and management in the EMR. Nurses must update themselves in advances in healthcare technology and informatics. So, hindi pwedeng sabihin, wala kasi yan nung panahon namin. Kailangan naming mag-adjust, kailangan naming matuto sa technology. Nurses must contribute to the growing body of knowledge, most especially in the development of new technology in the provision, care, and in data management. So, paano yan? So, kailangan, di ba, pasok ka sa nursing informatics, mag-specialize ka dyan, mag-aral ka, mag-coding ka, or maki-coordinate ka so that you come up with new technology or new knowledge. Nurses are responsible for educating their patients with updated and factual information using IEC materials that are understandable. Okay? So, again, as we have mentioned, teaching or educating is one of the main responsibilities of nurses also. And of course, under that is IEC materials making. So, kailangan maganda, attractive yung IEC mo para makonsume. Kasi kung hindi, itatapon lang or hindi sila makikinig, hindi sila matututo. Okay? So, another would be your Nightingale's Pledge. So, naka-incorporate din dito sa part na to yung iyong responsibility, okay, as a nurse in this time. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession and will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and all family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. Okay? So that kasama dyan yung pag-protect ng kanilang data and identity. Okay? So what are the implications of the Nightingale's Pledge? Nurses must be involved in elevating standards of practice through research in developing new techniques and technology. Okay. Also, protect patients' information and ensuring privacy and confidentiality of patients' medical records. Okay. So, yan yung responsibility natin. Kaya natin pinipledge yung Nightingale's Pledge part na yun. So, to remind us of our responsibility to protect patient information, let's see in the next slide a sample manifesto. So, ito yung health manifesto noon. So, you have 5 points there. Okay, I am a healthcare provider and I will conduct myself in a manner worthy of my profession. Even online, I will not use online platforms to rant or bash patients and healthcare professionals. First, do no harm. Number two, recognizing this and the trust that comes with my profession, I will ensure that the information I post, like, or share is accurate. Whatever I post online in relation to my clinical expertise should be of benefit to my countrymen. I will prioritize the promotion and advancement of health rather than of medical products. I will not practice plagiarism. O, diba? I will refrain from posting information online that will compromise patient confidentiality and privacy. And then I will value the patient's dignity and privacy by not taking selfies, groupies, or videos during encounters with patients that include patients' body parts, surgical specimen, or that show patients in the background without their consent. Okay, so yan yung manifesto o parang pinaka-pledge natin when we take care of patients, even online. Okay? So that even picturing yung parts of the body lang without their consent is a violation already. Tapos, ano pa ba? Ayan. So, any question? So, that ends our Unit 7. So, it's kind of ethical principles kasi sila with laws. So, medyo heavy yung topic and makita nyo yung slides, halos puno. Kasi nga, it will now have to be complete kasi nga wala tayong masyadong time. Gumalaw, mag-lecture. So, please, I hope you understood the lesson. Any questions so far, just message me just in case you have a question. Thank you.